our blog post. Okay, welcome to Unlock Your First Six Figures morning show. I am your host, Shay Cannon. I'm an award-winning fractional chief operating officer with an exclusive clientele of 6 and 7 figure CEOs. However, I have a mission. That mission includes you, small business owners and entrepreneurs who are struggling and spinning their wheels, trying to get to the first 6 figures in business. I want to show you how to make the money and create time freedom. That's make the money and create time freedom. My freedom looks like living and working my business from anywhere in the world. I'll spare you the journey of my 5 years of doing that and just let you know I am currently living my best life and working my best business in Mexico. Okay. Blog Talk has released. So you guys already knew what we were talking about this week. We're talking about 2024 trends. Okay. 2024 trends I want you to get your business ready for. And so the first one is not a stranger to you. We kind of talked about it all last week, but we're going to talk about it a little differently today. And that first trend is sustainability versus growth. Okay, we are still in a sustainable phase after our recession. So you can go back to all of last week's replays to see how to be more sustainable, what should be your priorities right now after the post-recession or whatever. But what I need you to know as a trend is that being sustainable does not go away when the clock hits January. Okay, so I am predicting that at least the first quarter one of 2024 is still going to be about sustainability. And when we start to hit quarter two, that's when we're going to start to phase into growth. Okay, we're going to start to phase into growth around quarter two, definitely in quarter three. So mid-year next year, you should be sustainable. You should have predictable things going on in your business. You should feel stable. And now you should be ready to invest in growth. Okay. Now, before that, though, we can start to plan for growth. We don't start making purchases toward growth. We don't start making changes toward growth, not just yet. Okay. But we can start to plan for growth. Now, what does that mean? That means going through your client journey. Okay. And deciding what in the steps and what in connecting each of the steps, okay, could be better and could handle scale. What do you need to handle scale? Right now, a lot of us, we have a few clients, right? We're sustaining with our clients, but our goal is to have more clients. Well, what would we need to have more clients? What does that look like? Right? We're not there yet. We're not going to purchase anything, but what does it look like? Because we want to start the plan for growth. Okay, so that could look like what new processes do we need? Okay, that could look like what new tech do we need? That could look like, do we finally need to start adding team members or more team members? If so, where in the business, right? So, we talked about 2 weeks ago how to get the best out of your team or your VAs. And so I gave you, these calculations, these questions to ask yourself about who to hire in your business first, right? And so you can go back to those replays from 2 weeks ago to figure that out. However, I want you to start thinking about now, if I were to grow and be able to handle more clients than my own capacity, what does that look like, right? What does that look like? So the question today is not going to be about sustainability. The question today is going to be about growth. As a reminder, this is our last week this year. So I want you, ladies, to tell me when it comes to growth, going beyond just you servicing your clients, what do you think you would need in your business as a part of your growth plan? Okay, we're going to start with Mr. Ray. For 2024, we're getting our growth plan ready. We're not growing yet. We're not making actions. We're making the plan. So what is one thing you will need to grow past your own capacity? What do you need in your business?
Hi, good morning. I don't know. I feel like I will need a team. Mm-hmm. I'll need a team, and I'll need a strategy, an advanced strategy. I won't be able to operate week to week. Right. I'll need a strategy. If I, you know what I mean? I'm predicting some things about my audience even now. So I'm predicting eventually they're going to want to retreat.
Yes.
Eventually. So I have to plan that. And I have to, in order to plan that, I have to plan for growth. And in order to plan for growth, I have to put some strategies in place. And of course, based on the workshop, I got my notes here that I'm taking, and that's part of the plan. I'm beginning with the end in mind, and working backwards to build what I need to do to get there. If I decide I want 20 women at the retreat, what does that look like? And now that I have my organic marketing plan, it makes more sense. Easier to put that plan in place with this workshop information. So
I love it. Gotcha. All right, Glow. Your growth plan. Which business are you gonna grow? Look, pick one. And then what is something that you're gonna need as a part of your growth plan for 2024?
To be honest with you, I want to grow all my businesses.
I know. I just want you to talk about one now.
Okay, well, with Conversations with Glow podcast, I know that that I would definitely need a team behind me. So once I do get the team, like the assistant and someone doing the back end of things, and we're being consistent about it, I know that will actually help the business to grow.
Love it. All right, Miss Tracy Powell, 2024, we're going to start our growth plan. We're not going to do our actions, but we're going to start our plan. So what is something that you need to start planning for when it comes to growth beyond the capacity that you have right now?
I need to start building out a well-oiled, sustainable system that I can work, but also pass down to a team, because I am going to need a team of coaches and a really, really good CRM system, but also funding to make it happen. So,
Love it. I
that's
love
it.
that. All right. You were very Johnny on the spot with that, Tracy. Come through now. All right, Heather. 2024 is about growth. What do you know you need as a part of the plan for your growth in 2024 to go beyond the capacity that you have right now?
I need monthly recurring revenue to support adding at least another editor so that I can build more capacity.
Okay, now y'all are thinking. I'm loving it. All right, Dr. LaFera, what is something you need to be a part of your growth plan for 2024 to go beyond the capacity that you have right now?
Okay,
I know, I'm trying not, I'd be
right.
trying not to do it.
So I need to grow Dr. LaFera brand and the community of women around it. So I've already separated it out from LaFera & Co. That's a subsection of it. But these women need an identity, because like Therese said, they're going to want to retreat. And people keep coming up to me asking me, like, now, like, they weren't doing this before. Like, can I work with you? Can I have your number? I'm like, man, I don't do coaching, but okay. And so I'm like, okay, so I need to get a systematic way of getting in front of these people, podcasts, all that stuff, speaking engagement, wellness, corporate wellness workshops and stuff. So I need a sustainable pipeline to do that, so that they know I exist, so that, like, when I do that, because they do need me, I can do it without feeling like I'm doing all this work and, like, what am I getting out of it? Like, is it worth it? Because that's kind of why, one of the reasons I stopped. So I'm gonna need that, and they're gonna need an identity, because they don't really have one. I keep trying to figure out what I'm gonna call these people. But that's what I'm gonna, that's some of the stuff I'm gonna need, and that's like where I'm gonna have to start. It's like being more visible out and speaking as the person of authority that I can be and I am. So yeah.
I love that. I love it. All right, Dr. Tachi, Knowing that growth is coming and us getting a plan ready, not necessarily executing right now, but getting a plan of growth ready. What things do you know you need to grow the capacity beyond what you have right now for your business in 2024?
People across the board. So that's from the back end to
Mhm.
the front end. The back end or below the line, and the front end is above the line or talent. So I need people across the board.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I love it. I love it. Now, I want to do a little reminder. So we're talking about what do you need, right, to grow your business. I've heard a lot of team, right? And who people need to hire first is going to differ. Let's see. I think that's showing the wrong thing. Y'all looking at my boyfriend, ain't y'all? Stop it. Stop looking at my boyfriend. The answer is no. All right, let's see if this is the right screen. Yes, it is. Okay. So one of my reminders is going to be who you hire for your business, where you are to get to your next level of capacity is going to be different than who the next person hires. Okay. So let me remind you who you should be hiring first for your particular business. Okay. So first, who you're going to hire is who is going to allow you to get the money that is already sitting there waiting on you the fastest. Okay. So that could be different in everybody's team, right? Heather has already identified that that's going to be an admin to do the little things that she don't want to do, right? Dr. Glow says she needs like a production assistant to help her do all the things. Dr. Tati says she kind of needs somebody in every area across the board so she can come up out of that thing, right? So who is going to help you get to the money already waiting on you the fastest, right? Then the next person you're going to hire is the person that's going to help you get consistent money. The next person you're going to hire is going to be the next person that brings you out of the mundane task, like Heather said, okay? Kind of like what Glow said, right? Then the person you're going to hire is going to be who you need so that you aren't servicing. Because see, we can get more clients if we're not the only person servicing the clients, right? So now the person that you are hiring is actually going to be a revenue generating position, right? Not just a revenue, allowing you to get it position. All right. And so we love those, the positions that pay for themselves directly. Then you have the people that's going to be good at what you're not good at or what you can't do and don't know how to do. Okay. Then we got the people who are doing what you don't want to do and who can actually do it. Then we got people that need to be doing the things that you might want to do it. You might be good at doing it, but you shouldn't be doing it. Okay. So as a reminder, in getting ready for 2024 growth, this is what I want you to use. I don't want you to say, well, I always hear people say I need to start with a VA. You may or may not need to start with a VA. First of all, saying VA is like saying person. Okay, because VAs have varying levels of skill sets, and VA only means literally assisting you virtually. It does not have to mean that they have a lower skill set and that you can pay them lower dollars. So you still need to go back to this to see what type of VA that you need, right? So we talked about doers, thinkers, and decision makers. Doers do exactly what you tell them to do, when you tell them to do it, how you tell them to do it, and anything different from that, they always got to come back to you. Those are the ones that make y'all feel like you shouldn't have hired nobody because y'all don't have a structure in place for them, right? Then you got the thinkers. They're doers, but when they bring you a problem, they also bring you a solution, right? Then you have the decision makers. Those are people who are shared leaders. They can make decisions in your business. Me, as a fractional chief operating officer, I am a decision maker in the businesses in which I'm working in, right? So that takes even more monkeys off the back of the CEO. So you have to decide what level of person you need, what you need them for, and you have to be ready for the budget for the right person, okay? So that's the first thing that I wanted to remind you. The next thing I want to reshare with you is my particular plan. And it's funny because coming in 2024, this has changed just a bit. And some of it has changed based on the Foo Fighters that you guys are learning in the workshop, right? For example, I just hired a video editor yesterday. And he does also graphic design. So that's awesome, right? So the next thing I'm looking for is a funnel automation tech who also does web design, right? And then I need a copywriter. I don't necessarily need a social seller right here. Okay, I've changed my mind. I don't need that right here. I'll probably need that around phase 3 now. My phase 2, I'm probably going to take this closer out and put them on phase 3. Okay. But my phase 2, I am going to need more coaches. Okay. I am going to need a program assistant. So it might start with one coach who is also a program assistant, right? And so that'll leave me coaching less, maybe not this less, right? But less. And then my phase 3 kind of takes me out of it a lot, right? So feel free that in your growth plan for 2024 to say, okay, I'm going to have different phases of who I'm going to hire and what tech I'm going to get, because I have an exact goal for that phase. Based on the goal for the phase, that's how we know what we need. Okay. So I don't know if you picked up on it, but most of these things are in-game oriented, right? What do you want to happen in the end? Even the who to hire first was about what do you want to happen, right? If you start to think about the different roles that you know of that other people have in their businesses, you're going to get tripped up. It's not going to be as tailored to your business as it could be, right? So as you're getting ready for growth, I need you to take into account, what do you need? Your business. What is the strengths of your business? What are the weaknesses of your business? What are the strengths of you as CEO? What are the weaknesses of you as CEO, right? What are your budgetary strengths and what are your budgetary weaknesses, right? This might be the time that you use lines of credit. This might be the time that you use capital loans and things like that when it's time to actually grow. But you have to know what the end results are going to be, right? Or what you want them to be. You have to know what you're working towards, right? So I want to welcome Kimberly Miles and Miss Keisha Sharp Jefferson to the morning show. And so I would love to know from you guys, everybody, anybody can come off the mic instead of us going around. Did this help you with what you know you need to have in your growth plan? Because I know you had like an initial answer, but looking at being able to phase it, right? So now you're thinking more intentionally about what your plan is going to look like. Because what we know is the first iteration of that plan can't be the fantasy version, right? We're not even ready for the fantasy version. So we can start with the fantasy version and bring it down, or you can start with my step 1 and take it up. Right? So which would work best for you? Did this get you thinking a little differently about what you're going to need for your business, for your growth plan? Because we're not in growth season yet. We're just planning for it. So anybody want to come off the mic and address that?
So I feel like it changes how I think about that process. So like, for instance, if I say, oh yeah, eventually, the ladies are going to want to retreat and maybe I'll take 20 of them. And, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, in order to take 20 of them, 20 would be, that's 10%, or yeah, if that's 10% of my following, then I need this many ladies. But if I look at it from the perspective that you're saying, and I put phases in place and I look at the end and I work backwards, then I could actually better predict how many people will go on the retreat. And if I say, oh, I want 50 women to go on the retreat. So that causes me to say, then I need more than 200 people in my group if I want 50 people to go. You know what I mean? Yes. And so I have a better, I assign goals to each phase so that I can work toward those goals regarding building lists and how I do lead magnets and all the things. You know what I mean?
I love that. No, it makes sense.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, when you look at what the fantasy version is and you look at where you are right now, it's going to take you some time, right? But that also, like you said, one of the things I'm going to need to have a retreat is I'm definitely going to have to build community, right? So I'm going to have to build community now so that I have people that are indoctrinated into my beliefs and into my expertise enough to want to come somewhere and pay money, right? Which is going to be overhead on my part, to come see me and participate in that way. So now it's not just, oh, I'm going to go ahead and solidify this place and I'm going to start planning for this retreat. I'm going to plan to have a community that want to have the retreat, right? So you are correct.
I feel I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Tori.
No, I feel like the danger in not thinking that way is that I'll say, well, I'll wait until my group grows. We'll see where I am in 6 months. We'll see where I am next year. And it's more, nonchalant than no. I want to build this community by this date because I want to be able to have this community at this time or the retreat at this time.
Mhm.
Instead of the lazy mindset is, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and hopefully it'll grow. You know what I mean?
I do know. I do know. So I love that. Thank you, Teray. Did anybody else, when I showed you what my growth plan looks like and how I'm even adapting it, right? When I took you back to who you should be hiring first, did that spark anything for you that you know that you need to do as a part of your growth plan while we're still in the planning phase? Because the 2024 prediction that I have is that this sustainability period is going to go all the way into quarter 1. We're not ready to grow yet, but it's time to at least be planning so that we know where we're headed. Miss Keisha was coming off the mic. What you want to add, Keisha?
Hey, Miss Shay.
Hello.
Hello. Um, you know, this is putting the pressure on me for two reasons. I'm a I'm an idea based. That's my strength. I'm an idea based. I wouldn't say marketing, but I'm very good about because of my background. We'll just say bringing attention to something. So I'm very
Yes.
good about selling that, bringing attention to it. But this is the part, Shay, where I have been stumped.
Mm.
I launched out into the entrepreneurial arena. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years, but when it comes to that growth part, because I'm an idea based, I can come up with an idea, I can come up with Zooms that I can charge for, et cetera, et cetera. So much so, but growing and
Mhm.
hanging in there has been tough. My background is communications. So the what past 3 months I went back and took a position as a writer with a paper, and it kind of got me off track again because I'm focused more than on trying to, and I say, oh, it's easy because I can write like the back of my hand. No, anytime you take a position, you're still working and doing their vision, and it moves you from your vision because it creates division, okay? Division of
Mhm.
your time, money, resources. So what you're challenging me with is to say, because I've been thinking a lot about this, I spent a lot of time at the end of the year thinking because I'm a visionary, okay?
Yes.
So
Yes.
again, I can plan things, but again, you are challenging me to say you can't stay at the place of being a visionary. You've got to think hiring staff. And I love how you said, okay, what works for you and who you need to hire doesn't, you can't go with that. Because sometimes I'll go, okay, let me look at how somebody else did it and I can do it. No, so this is really good, and I've got to keep applying pressure to myself. But Shay, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mhm.
I'm in a better financial situation now where bills are paid and I don't have any debt, and I mean I'm just in a peachy situation. But making money was a real challenge for me, making consistent money. And that's
Yes.
what landed me here going back getting another position. So I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff out there, but
No, I'm catching it all. So let me tell you how it is just fine to have a dream funder, right? We went through the pandemic and then we went through a recession. I mean, there are a lot of businesses that didn't even survive at all, right? And so it's not easy. It's hard out here for a pimp, right? So you are correct. You have to understand when it's time to go and get the dream funder when the dream isn't funding itself. Now,
hmm,
Keisha, what I'll tell you is, and what I will challenge you with is, you may have to think differently. You may have to stop thinking that you're the one that has to execute everything when you're at the dream funder. So you have limited your execution time. So maybe you should be trying to hire a decision maker or a thinker rather than doers that's going to still have to come back to you and get things done, right? So you may have
hmm,
to hire somebody that can think for you in the business and handle the business while you're at the dream funder. And then your
hmm,
time management is easier to do because you're not so split, right? Things are happening without you.
hmm,
Yeah.
hmm,
Because see,
hmm,
sometimes we're always thinking we have to start with the doers, right? It's
yeah.
ingrained in us. I'm the head and I'm starting with the doers. Well, as a fractional chief operating officer, I've had people to hire me before they really had a business because they just knew they couldn't give it the attention. They knew they didn't know what decisions to make. So I built the business around them, right? And so
Hmm,
you might just need somebody, not necessarily me, because I'm a high expense, right? Or not
yeah,
necessarily my position, but it could
yeah.
be somebody that is an expert at what they do. right? So as a communications person, as one of my former favorite news anchors in my hometown of Birmingham,
Oh.
Alabama, you know what I'm saying? What you might need to start with is a marketing team, right? Because what we know is the marketing starts long before the actual ask.
Mhm.
So if you had somebody doing the marketing, building your community so that when you finally make the ask, you already have a ready-made pool of people who are ready to buy whatever it is that you have coming. So just
Example of a marketing
think a
team,
little
Shay.
different. Huh?
Example of a marketing team.
Well, mine was kind of what I shared. So I'm doing a copywriter, I'm doing graphic designer, video editor. You know, video is huge. And I do a lot of video. Like what I recognized in meeting with the video editor yesterday was I do 45 minutes a day just on this morning show that needs to be edited down. That alone is a lot. Not only the other things that I had, like I had a whole list. And then they called me out and was like, yeah, you got all this list, but the only thing you really got ready is the morning show. And that's the biggest project of your videos, right? So copywriter, graphic designer, video editor, web designer, funnel automations tech. And it could be that you need somebody that knows marketing strategy, right? So your marketing, it could be somebody that is a community leader. So you have a community, but you need somebody else in there talking to them. You need somebody else in there nurturing them on your behalf because you're at the Dream Funder. So it just depends on what is your marketing plan, right? So my marketing plan is that I'm the forward-facing person. I am the expert. I am the authority figure. I am the thought leader, right? But the culture that I create in my community, which this is my community, is I'm not the only genius. I am a genius. That's not a question, but I'm not the only genius, right? So I've created community of geniuses that communicate, collaborate, and we have these transformational conversations about business. That is the community I'm building. I give value near daily, Monday through Thursday, right? So what I might need for community is for somebody else to come in and do all the other things except for me show up. So it depends on what is your marketing plan.
Okay.
Because when you get to your marketing plan and decide how you want to market your particular thing, that's going to start to reveal to you who you need. Because you're going to look at that plan and you're going to know what you have time for and what you don't. And I want to show y'all something else too, because I use ChatGPT to help me to determine how much time I should spend on what. So let me share this screen. So if you have only so and so hours a day, out of the week, right? And you got to do certain things, go ahead and tell it that you know, what is the priority? You can even have it, you can say, this is my marketing plan. I have 30 hours a week to work on it or 20 hours a week to work on it. First, I need you to prioritize these based on me. I'm going to say, get into the money the quickest. It's going to prioritize it for you. Then you say, okay, now take my 20 minutes that I have a week and divide up those tasks with you know, the fact that I have 20 hours a week. ChatGPT can do it for you, right? So now you know, okay, when I have production time, the exact thing that I can do is I need a 20-minute, I need a hour slot for this particular thing. I need a 90-minute slot for this particular thing. I might need a 45-minute slot for this particular thing, right? So that can even help you to understand who you need to hire. Because you might, as far as they are prioritized to getting you to the money, it might be something in there that you just shouldn't be doing at all. Because you don't even really have enough time to spend on it for the priority that you have and the time that you have. Keisha said,
That's good. I'm listening. That's good.
So yeah, I love it. I love it. Zandra is over here in Facebook. Good morning, Zandra. She said she liked the way, Teray, she's talking about you. She liked the way you knew your numbers. She needs to do the same. She was like, come on, affirm that retreat. She loves it. She said you're speaking and affirming it for me. So Teray, don't forget Zandra does travel if you need some help. So anybody else thinking a little differently about what they need in their growth plan based on this additional information?
That was actually really good, because when you were talking about not just the dream funders, but the fact of you may need to get somebody else to do XYZ while you're doing the dream funder. I think I'm thinking about it and I'm like, that's definitely a model that I can use as I'm doing these other ventures to help with that, and not just funding, also for visibility. So as I'm doing those other visibility things, it's helpful to have somebody else who could assist on working on that. So that makes sense.
Cool, cool. Love it, love it. Dr. LaFera, what did you want to add? Or did you have a question?
I didn't have a question. Well,
Okay.
maybe I do. Um, it was so with me, I basically I've been saying two things. And that's that I need help like with somebody pushing me out there. So it's like help with my messaging to get to attract the people that I want. So that's marketing. And that would be someone to help me like to get the Dr. LaFera brand more visible. Because it is all the stuff I've been doing, but it's not as visible as it should or could be. So marketing, yes. But also that little doer part where I tell them like go find me these people, this is how you do it. Like I need that too. And that one wouldn't be that expensive, the doer because they don't have to think if I've already shown like I need you to like do this and go find me these people from here and like give me this list and all that. But I do need the help with the marketing stuff to give me direction and how to like make myself stand out and that type of thing. And I already know that. So yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget, so in your process, when you're talking about go get me, so first of all, you have to tell them what's a qualifying podcast or speaking opportunity, right? Then you have to have a script for how they reach out. The outreach needs a script, right? Then you need to have, if they want more information, what information do you have ready for them? Do you have your bio ready? Do you have the headshot ready in a folder for them to just send over? You see what I'm saying? Do you already have what your signature talks could be, your signature expertise, subject matters, those types of things? You have to have all of that ready for this doer, or they're going to keep coming to you and ding you, right? So make sure that you have like a complete anything they would need support system ready for it, so that now really all they're doing their lightweight scope of something, and then you get to make decisions, and then you get to show up, right? So you need even a questionnaire, like when you accept a podcast, you need to have a questionnaire ready for them to get the information for you, because all podcast owners are not built the same. You can ask Glow, right? Because everybody doesn't get you what you need in a timely manner for you to feel ready and show up your best. So you need this questionnaire type of thing that your doer can then get all the answers to present you all the answers by a certain time before you are to appear, right? So make sure you have all of that as a part of your process, Dr. LaFera, and not just go out and find me some things, because that's leaving a whole bunch of stuff for them to come back and ding you, and you still to feel like I'm spending money for them to do this, and I feel like I'm doing it myself, right? So we want to take that out just a little bit. So did that make sense, Dr. LaFera?
It does. And I've started doing all the stuff that you said as far as like the signature talks, like, and like, what podcasts and stuff I would like to be featured on. The thing that I didn't have and didn't think about was when you said get somebody to like fill out a form, like an intake form, so that I know like, but I don't have any big surprises. And yeah, I've had someone not show up for a podcast after I paid somebody some good money to like help me find people like that. And so I was supposed to be a nice podcast, but they didn't show up. And so I need help with all that type of stuff.
I understand. While we're talking about podcasts, I do want to give y'all a little tip about podcasts. Every podcast I go on does not necessarily have a big audience, right? So how it's 3 reasons for me to do a podcast. Okay. The first reason is to build my email list, right? I give them a lead magnet, so that the audience, needs to include enough of my audience so that I can give them a lead magnet and they get on my list, right? If it's one of those podcasts that they don't have my audience in there, audience, I don't really want them on my list. I might tell them to follow me, right? But the value of that podcast is it's giving me organic content. Okay. The third reason why I could go on a podcast is to partner with the host to sell my stuff and they can make a commission, right? So there's lead generation, there's organic content, and then there's like money partnerships. So those are the three reasons why I get on podcasts. It's not always the same reason every time. So I hope that helps, Dr. LaFera. Dr. Tachi, you have your hand up.
I do.
Okay.
Dr. Dr. LaFera, you're saying that you're looking for podcasts to get on? That's what yes. Have you used podcast.com?
Nope.
Okay, so if you go to that site, it will actually send you can sign up for the newsletter, and it gives you people that are looking for podcast guests. And it's also, for example, if you had a podcast, you could get guests, but it is I think they charge for one of them, but it's free the other way. So check that out, and hopefully that will help. And then also the way I found some people and got on some podcasts was through some groups on Facebook that are specifically for podcasting and getting guests.
I love that. What was the link again, Dr. Tachi? Podcast what?
Podcastguest.com.
Guest.com. Cool. And yeah, if you just search podcast guests, all of those groups on Facebook will pop up. I'm in them. And they're always looking for guests. And again, if you apply the 3 reasons, right, then you can get value out of a podcast no matter what kind of podcast it is and who is in the audience. So thank you for that, Dr. Tachi. Did anybody else have a question? If not, I'm going to run down some ways you can get ready for growth in 2024. Anybody else have a question? Okay, maybe you have a question after this. So some ways to get ready, right, is set some clear goals, right? Do some market research, do some financial projections, do a resource assessment. Some of y'all got resources you haven't used, especially y'all tech hoarders, right? Especially y'all people who have bought into groups that you could go live in, or you bought into memberships that you could be collaborating in. Check all your resources, okay? Marketing and sales strategy. You definitely want both. And really it's crazy because your marketing calendar or your promotion calendar should be dictating your content, because your content should be seeding your marketing. So marketing comes first, and then the content comes in to help with the marketing, right? Operational efficiency. Y'all know we had a whole week on that. Customer service and retention. What does that look like? Right? I talk all the time about you need to service your current clients excellently and figure out what is that capacity before you go marketing, getting more people that you're going to serve non-excellently, right? So what does your customer service look like? What does retention look like? Because marketing is getting more people, and customer service is servicing the people that have already invested in themselves through you. What are your legal and regulatory considerations for 2024? Are you stepping into another area or doing something else that may have compliance things that you have to think about? I was talking yesterday to somebody about how, y'all are illegal with all this marketing you're doing via email and via text messaging. Y'all gonna start getting in trouble when the people get back to the laws and start suing you. So be careful and make sure that you're doing your marketing correctly, especially that text message marketing. Some of y'all don't understand that when people give you their email address, it doesn't mean you can do anything you want to do with it. So if they signed up or they handed you a business card, it is illegal for you to take their business card, take their email, and put it on your list. Okay? It is illegal for you to be texting somebody just because they gave you a phone number as a part of the discovery call. They didn't say you could market to them via text message, right? They could, if they're on the federal do not call registry, you already in trouble. And you have no idea. So that's why you have to get them to particularly opt in to your marketing and sales stuff. Okay. So legal, regulatory compliance issues, risk management. We always have something that we did in this year that was a huge risk that we want to avoid for the new year. So look at any risk that you took. Look at anything you were almost at risk for, right? And let's go ahead and try to fix that for the next year. Technology and infrastructure. Y'all already know. I learned from Chris L. Davis that we don't purchase technology, we hire technology. And from that, what I learned in dealing with y'all is we don't just hire technology, we hire it first. We hire that before we hire people. So look at your tech, right? And look in your tech graveyard and see what you bought and haven't been using, okay? But look at your tech so that you can have a plan for it. Strategic partnerships, right? You can make 6 figures off one partnership. So are you strategically using partnerships? Are you using partnerships at all? Start looking at how you can connect and collaborate with people, okay? Employee development or team development. If you do have team and they're not doing what you feel like they need to do, look at the structure before you look at the team member. All right. Some of y'all have not set them up for success. About 2 weeks ago, we did a whole week on how to get the best out of your VA or team member. Go back to that week and make sure you're setting up the employee or that team member for success. All right. Now, any questions? We got 2 minutes before the top of the hour. However, I just gave you more information. So did that pop anything in your brain? Anything you want to either add to it, talk about, or have a question about? Cool beans. Well, tomorrow we go on with our trends for 2024. Let me see if I can remember well, I'm not going to remember, but let me see if I can bring up what we're talking about tomorrow for 2024. Oh, we are talking about time freedom tomorrow as a trend for 2024. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Announcements are, I need to get your contest leaderboard up because I didn't get that up in time, but we're welcoming the new members. That's an automatic post, so that'll happen around 11. But sometime today, I will put the new leaderboard up on who has invited the most people that have accepted the invitation. We had a first place, a second place, and a 3-way tie for third place last week. I'm excited to see what the results are going to be for this week. Also, if you did not participate in our workshop last week, in our affordable workshop series, let me tell you, it was revolutionary. Some of the testimonials are already out there. I'm not going to even ask the ladies to talk about it today, but we have up-leveled our workshop experience. It is now a workshop plus private challenge experience. The workshop was last week. It's not too late to get the replay, shaycannon.com/organic. But today starts day 1 of the 3-day challenge. And so I will see those ladies tonight. And let me tell you, I've already released for them, right? The workshop was all about what the strategy is. Last night, I went ahead and gave them a sneak peek of the plan we're going to be creating tonight. I gave them the template last night. And I know Teray has already looked at. Teray, have you already looked at that? Look at her. She got it printed. Jesus, see, I be knowing my people, right? Teray, just in your first perusal of the plan that we're going to be executing tonight, what are your thoughts on the plan?
First of all, you have a habit, Shay, of taking my thinking out of the game, which I love.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I've been using Chat GPT, but I have to know how to position the prompt. This is the prompt. I'm good. Like
It is.
I was taking some notes over the weekend, and I've answered many of the questions for, at least the tofu.
Mhm.
But this, I got to fill in the gaps with this. So that's what this is about. And
Yes.
this is a complete game change. Like I can't even. Y'all need to get in on this $97 offer while you can, because this is a $500 workshop. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, and to help y'all out, have you even looked at the GPT I created for y'all? So
Yeah, I'm just going to chime in and say, yes, I hit that button right away. I hit that here. Yes, I did. Yes, she did.
Yeah. So everything I have taught y'all, everything in that plan, everything it's already in here. So if you got a question about it and I'm not around, the challenge is over, you still have a resource, right? So yeah, y'all know, I'm gonna set you up for success. I'm gonna give you the resources you need and the resources you didn't know you needed. So yes, most definitely. I can't wait till tonight so we can get started on this plan.
Is
yes,
all of this in the P Cloud? Because I
it
think I
is.
saved
It's
all
in your
mine to the
vault.
P Cloud.
It's in the Slack channel. Yep. I released
Okay.
it last night via email and in your Slack channel. So yes, it is already there if you want to go there and look at it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool
Let
beans,
me
not a
just help
problem.
Glow real quick. Whenever you're a part of something that Shay is doing, and because you have signed on one, we want to welcome you. Make sure you pull your braids back up tight, okay, girl? Because you are about to be schooled if you have not already noticed that. So now that you have joined, you have come aboard, welcome, welcome, welcome. And yes, that means check all your local channels that you are attached to with her, because it is coming down the pike. There is a train
is.
on the track, girl. Yes, it is.
Well, go on over.
Thank you. Thank you, Auntie Shawana.
I love it. I love it. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. I swear it is. Kimberly Miles, you haven't had a chance to talk because you kind of came in after we did the lineup. Is there anything you want to add about today about getting your business ready for 2024 before we get out of here? And you can put it in the chat. Shawana, you want to come off the mic and say anything about getting your business ready for 2024? Shawana,
You know, I do. I love it. I love it. And with what I love is, of course, always timing is everything. And with the challenge, and as I was teasing Glow, but I was serious at the same time, this is perfect to go out of this calendar year, going into the new year. And as always, everything builds on something, which is important, because it's like not only where are we taking ourselves, but it's where we are taking the people that we currently have and the people that are to come. This does it continue, you as I say it all the time, you continue to keep us sharp, as you keep yourself sharp. And I mean, you already know, I cannot say that part enough. It's like right when you're saying what's next, or did I forget about that, you good with bringing stuff back. Is good with saying, have you done those 10 things? You might have did 3, but did you do 5 and 6? Have you done that for the people like me, who's been doing some things to increase growth? So that is one of the things that I appreciate. And you already know, I will shout that part from the rooftop. I love it when I see new beginners come in and you see the light bulbs go off, the illumination, the eurekas, the where have you been all my life people. I really do. I sit back and I get tickled. And that's why I say though, but wear your big girl panties, be able to have your scrunchie, tie your hair up, and know that you might lose a few edges and some eyebrows, because you know I will scratch my eyebrows out. That's why I keep a good pencil. I rest.
And with that, y'all have a great day. The studio is closing. And wait, Kimberly got put her comment in. So she said, I'm at the Dream Funder. First, I wholeheartedly echo Shawana's comments. I feel I'm in the right place at the right time. 24 starts with this, was 2024 starts with this workshop for me. I'm taking a step back and reevaluating my entire business plan. I love it. Thank you, Kimberly. All right, guys. Stick with us tomorrow. We're talking about time freedom, because some of y'all done created a personal job and we need to get you up out of there for 2024. So join us again tomorrow where we talk about time freedom as a prediction for 2024. All right. The studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, everybody.